you don't know by now, DMX is my uncle. Okay, there it is. I said it. He is my uncle in my head. I have loved him since I was a kid, from beginning to end. I have never not loved DMX. Now, DMX is very smart and very wise. Yes, he had his downfalls, but that man was never one of these industry people, if you know what I mean. DMX and Pimp C warned us about Jay-Z. They been told us. He been paying attention. So let's see what they said.
If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. That pretty much explains
I've definitely heard that song.
And watch this, boy. I'm gonna say this too. Out there think this cool, but it ain't cool. Me and this man ain't never been taking in no room together with no.
Joe to see a Puffy on ain't a. They been at my house. They all see me. They all know I'm a big nigga.
Yeah, pulling no orgy type, doing none of that. Out there be doing, thinking you doing some flash. You in a room naked with some broad and looking at your and if that's gay, and you need to get on some other. Me and this man got nothing but respect for each other. We ain't never put no train. We ain't no freaks. We some family men. We getting it paper.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about? And I had to put that out there because a lot of doing a lot of fugazi here, man.
This rapper and him, they all in the room.
Now this man, Gene Deal, we got an interview from him coming up that I'm gonna do. He has been telling everything there is that he knows about Diddy. Every chance he gets on what is that? The dialogue the dialogue where they do the interviews and stuff. He is telling it all. So we gonna head over there and hear it all. He said Diddy had put drugs in the baby oil. Diddy did this. Diddy did that. We have to find out exactly what Diddy was doing. The stuff they don't always tell you in the media that everybody don't know. He used to be his bodyguard or security guard or whatever, and he's seen it all. So we gonna get into him.
Room together. You know, it's Sarah, the girl, Puff, and this dude, this rapper.
Anything done in the dark gonna come to the light. I ain't gotta expose them, because they exposing themselves every day and every night.
And Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the... When Ja said, you don't want to come up in there, a lot of freaky stuff is going on. You got to use your mind.
Ja Rule?
What they was doing with the plugs.
I know who let the models stick the dildos in them, and I know who did what, where, when, and why.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. Mm-hmm. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label. Now you're back rapping again. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's all good.
Every day we hear new allegations about Jay-Z, and word on the street is that it's just a matter of time before he gets the Diddy treatment. So now is the perfect time to talk about how two industry heavyweights, DMX and Pimp C, tried to sound the alarm about Jay-Z years ago. But it seems that anyone who's ever tried to expose the truth either ended up dead or was written off as crazy. It seems like every couple of years, people bring up the question, is Jay-Z involved in some shady business when it comes to other rappers? And more specifically, did he have a hand in their deaths? DMX, who had beef with Jay for years, was on record multiple times throwing major shade at Ho. He talked about how the industry changed when Jay took over as president of Def Jam, and how artists started falling off, or worse, when they didn't play along by his rules. And then when DMX passed from a suspected OD, Jay-Z's Leia Cohen made some disrespectful comments at X's funeral, leading fans to wonder how Jay really felt about X. And let's...
Now my uncle, not my mother effing uncle. Rest in peace, uncle.
Let's not forget Pimp C, who died in 2007 under very suspicious circumstances. Many believe his death wasn't as natural as we've been led to believe. In fact, before he passed, Pimp C allegedly warned people about the darker side of the industry, and about Jay-Z specifically. Right before his death, Pimp was getting bold and talking about how people in power were doing more than just making music. They were allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes to silence those who challenged them. And many fans have speculated that Pimp knew too much, and that his death may have been a direct result result of that. So, did DMX and Pimp C know something about Jay-Z that we didn't? Were they trying to warn us about how this industry really works? And more importantly, how does Jay-Z keep managing to stay at the top no matter who falls around him?
That's true.
A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist.
I'm an artist in the industry. Hello?
The rabbit hole around Diddy keeps getting deeper and messier by the day. But Diddy isn't the only one under fire right now. His longtime friend Jay-Z is also catching some serious smoke. And here's the wild part. If you've been paying attention, this isn't even new. Word on the street is that DMX and Pimp C were some of the first to peep game and call out both Diddy and Jay-Z for their shady moves in the industry. But guess what? They didn't live long enough to tell the whole story. And now people are starting to wonder if X and Pimp C paid the ultimate price for seeing through the facade and trying to speak out. There's this interview with X that recently resurfaced on social media where he talked about how Diddy grapes his artists. Now, some fans are taking DMX's use of the R word as a metaphor for how Diddy's been shortcoming his artists, like not giving them the money or credit they deserve. But others are straight up convinced that X wasn't speaking in metaphors at all and meant that literally.
Well, you know, Locks got signed by that. Even though I bought the Locks Store Riders, you know, they got signed. They were a safer group. You know, pop side them. And it was a blessing and a curse because they were sure they were happy about getting signed first. And they were on the Benjamin and the shit was going. But they made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for them and took all that publishing and like, damn. I'm glad I didn't, you know, you keep that. And we went to like.
I think he meant it both ways.
D was like, yo, if you like the Locks, like X is like Big Dog, like those are the pops, like you love.
And then in another interview, X talked about how Diddy originally rejected him for a deal at Bad Boy. But once Diddy heard what Def Jam was offering, he switched up real quick, practically begging DMX to sign with him instead. But here's where things get interesting. Rumor has it that DMX wasn't feeling Diddy's energy because he heard that some shady things had gone down behind the scenes at Bad Boy.
Maybe 3 weeks after I got signed to Def Jam, he's like, yo, I'll lace your pockets, I'll double what they gave you and lace your pockets. I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
Now let's get into the whole DMX.
See, that's the thing, like, when you have pride and you not easily swayed by money and all of this nonsense, the sweet nothings and dreams that they promise you, and you know you got pure talent, none of that, I see right through you. I heard you be doing stuff and I don't even want to find out if you are or if you aren't. I just rather dust it off and keep going in my direction. It don't even matter. Uncle X was not playing with that man. You clearly see that man was a gangster from Yonkers, not playing, slinging the stuff, you know, and he was not playing with that. He was not trying to dibble and dabble with this industry nonsense, whatever stuff they was doing to the same sex, whatever stuff they was doing, to women, to young girls. No, he might have been doing his little, no, I don't want to do anything like that though. Okay, he even went to rehab a bunch of times. Like, listen, I barely even want to do drugs. I don't want to do all that crazy stuff y'all trying to get me to do.
X and Jay-Z drama because this was simmering under the surface for years before X left us. And while Jay did show respect publicly when X passed, there's always been this feeling in the streets that X never fully trusted him. After X's passing, Jay-Z went on LeBron James' show, The Shop, talking about how, despite their rivalry, it was all love between them. He painted this picture of DMX as an insanely competitive guy, and he kind of laughed off the whole beef thing.
In the building because I boycotted him. So there was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me.
He's stuttering. I don't care. I don't believe him.
But here's what Jay conveniently left out. According to DMX himself, it was actually Jay who was playing dirty. Back in 2004, when Jay-Z took over as president of Def Jam, that's when things went left between them. See, DMX had been holding it down for Def Jam for years, dropping 5 back-to-back number one albums between 1998 and 2003. X was practically carrying the label on his back during that era. But when Jay stepped into that president's chair, chair, X claimed that's when the drama started. According to DMX, Jay didn't want him to shine any longer. Jay-Z allegedly tried to sabotage the release of DMX's 6th album, Year of the Dog, again pulling strings to block it from getting the same love and support as his previous projects. And X's fans have been saying for a minute now that Jay saw X as competition and was trying to keep him from taking over the game.
What happened was, like I said, I had the crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. I go to do the 6th album, and,
Jay-Z became president.
Yeah. When he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, it makes us run in the building like, yo, you good? Finish the album, shoot the video. What happened? Vacation and, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know?
According to X, all this drama kicked off because Jay-Z switched up his plans about retiring from the rap game. Jay wasn't ready to hang it up just yet, and if he was going to make a comeback, he needed to clear out the competition, and that meant getting rid of anyone who might stand in his way.
Jay-Z, it's never that serious.
You're trying to eliminate the competition.
I ain't even gonna lie. I'm from Brooklyn. I listen to some Jay-Z songs, but I'm not going to sit up here and say like I'm a Jay-Z fan. And that's not just because of the rivalry between DMX and him. It's because certain songs I just couldn't listen to. Like I'll listen to the mainstream songs he put out. Maybe some songs people put me onto, but never did I sit down and listen to a whole album. And that's just me. Pull my black card if you want to, or pull my Brooklyn card if you want to, but I ain't never sit down and listen to all of Jay-Z's albums and songs and break down his lyrics because I just couldn't get jiggy with it. Maybe I couldn't relate. I wasn't no gangsta. But then again, DMX had gangsta music and I loved it. It just brung out a different type of energy in me. But I say this to say, like, he's trying to eliminate the competition, but you got your fans and he got his fans. It's not even about, it's not even that deep of competition. His fans are still going to listen to the music. And your fans are still going to listen to your music. So why is it that you want to be the only one out here? Like, I got to get this person out of here. I got to stop this person. I got to pull this string and pull that string. Like, is it really that serious?
The first you retire, then get me off the label. Now you're back rapping again. Okay. It's all good.
This was the moment DMX realized Jay-Z was ready to step on anybody to protect his own interests. And that's when X decided to leave Def Jam for good. But here's the thing. There's actually a lot more to why DMX had serious trust issues with Jay. And it all ties back to Jay-Z's connections with some shady higher-ups in the industry. X, on the other hand, wasn't afraid to call out the dark side of the industry elites. And he constantly pointed out how label heads and executives control artists. Unlike Jay, who seemed to thrive in that system, DMX refused to bend or sell out for them.
You know what I mean? We go back many years, man.
Exactly. It's been a few years since I've been here. But it's just like I seen him. It's just like I seen you like 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
Nothing never changes, man. That's why I like with real people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
When you're with real people, you ain't gotta worry about changing. You ain't gotta worry about acting funny next time you see him or no extra. It's always gonna be the same thing every time you see me.
What I respect about you is you keep your passion, man. You keep your emotion, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at this stage in the game, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna get me where I need to be. How I feel about it. And I feel strongly about this, man. I ain't gonna let a mother take it from me.
You can also see a lot of this attitude in X's track, The Industry, where he raps, if you ain't got a strong mind, the industry will break you down. It's a matter of time. The industry, vultures with nothing to feast on. In another verse, X...
This is how much I love DMX. I took that song. We had to pick a song when I was in college. We had to pick a song and break it down and explain the meaning behind the song. You know what I did. I took that song, broke it down, and told my whole class about how DMX was not messing with this industry. That's how much I love DMX. I need y'all to know that. If you didn't see it in the first 10, 20 minutes of this video, you gonna see it now.
Talks about how the industry wants new artists to sell their souls. And spits, the industry don't give a F about you, but the industry couldn't make a dime without you.
The game is... Man, the game is... If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, what the industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a game. The industry, real trying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk like that. The industry.
But it's not just DMX who accused Jay-Z of playing the industry games and throwing his own friends and business partners under the bus to get ahead. One of the most talked about cases is with Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller. Dame didn't hold back, going public with claims that Jay betrayed him when he started getting close to some shady bigwigs in the music industry like Layer Cohen. And allegedly, Layer played a major role in driving a wedge between Dame and Jay. Now, Layer has faced a ton of accusations over the years, like locking artists into those exploitative...
Not to say it, not to sound crazy when I say this, but you let this Wall Street man, that's what I'm gonna call it, you let this Wall Street man come in between something that we built. You get what I'm saying? This Wall Street man, we built this. This is hip hop culture. Something they know nothing about. They know the business side. They know how to get this money. They know how to use you to get the coin in their pocket. But you let that man come in between us. Okay.
Now, Layer has faced a ton of accusations over the years, like locking artists into those exploitative 360 deals and being labeled a culture vulture. Dame Dash even called him out for using a divide and conquer tactic to pit black artists and moguls against each other. In fact, word on the street is that Layer gave Jay-Z the idea to mess with X's 6th album. But here's where it gets wild. Back in 2018, when Layer hit up the Breakfast Club, he started discussing the substance crisis and how sad he felt about DMX's struggles. But when Charlemagne pressed him on why he keeps signing artists who push that kind of lifestyle, Layer basically shrugged it off and said, that's just how the business works.
One of the biggest artists you ever had was had a real bad DMX. I'm so sad.
If it bothered you, DMX, why do you keep doing it?
Our society. So why sign an artist that would promote that? Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
You think that's hypocritical though? Yes.
You're saying it's opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash
take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Exactly. That's all he is.
Who's Dame Dash?
Ooh.
You brought him up. I don't even know him. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So y'all made a lot of money together.
Exactly.
Come on, don't do that to him.
That's why I like Charlemagne to a certain extent.
I really don't. So,
look at him, he don't even know what to say.
I won't be complicit.
Well, hold up, it gets even wilder. When DMX passed away, Layer went way overboard and said some crazy disrespectful things at X's funeral. A send-off for DMX took place in Brooklyn on April 25th, 2021. And Layer was supposed to be there, but he couldn't even bother to show up in person. Instead, he sent a recorded message where he started off trying to sound respectful, saying DMX was a good dude. But then out of nowhere, he went off the rails, calling DMX a gremlin and implying that his death wasn't exactly shocking.
So the race against time was that we all know X is a gremlin and reckless and looking for a wall to crash into. X, if you listen to X, if you see X
loved God.
This is his death is no surprise. If you listen to and you watched who and what X was.
Now, we all know X had his battles with substances, but to air all that out at the man's funeral, that's a whole new level of disrespect. And if Jay-Z looked up to Layer as his so-called mentor, it makes sense why DMX never trusted Jay from the jump. And you know who else never trusted Jay? Southern legend Pimp C. Just like DMX, Pimp C wasn't afraid to call out the shady stuff going down in the industry. There's even talk that his beef with Jay over the Big Pimpin' track had something to do with his suspicious death. And people are still connecting the dots on how deep the drama really went. So UGK linked up with Jay-Z for the iconic 2000 hit Big Pimpin'. And if you were around back then, you know that song was everywhere. It peaked at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and went platinum, becoming one of the biggest tracks of that era. It was a massive crossover success that pushed both UGK and Jay-Z to new heights. But behind the scenes, things weren't as smooth as that final product made it seem. Turns out, Pimp and Jay had some real tension going on. Pimp C wasn't the type to jump on any track just for the sake of clout. He had standards, and word on the street is that he wasn't feeling Jay's energy at first, especially because of Jay's past beef with Tupac. You already know how deep the loyalty to Pac runs, especially in the South and West. So when Jay and Pac had their issues, Pimp wasn't about to just look the other way. According to Greg Taylor, who managed UGK at the time, there was a lot of back and forth behind the scenes. Dame was pushing hard to make this collab happen, even offering UGK a $1 million check to jump on the track. But Pimp C wasn't impressed by the money. Taylor said that when he brought the offer to Pimp, he suggested that instead of taking the $1 million, they give the money to Tupac's mom.
And so I called him instantly because I knew y'all niggas at the house. Right. I was like, yo, I'm excited.
Jay didn't like that.
$1 million. This is it. Rockefeller is the shit. Hey, there's this. I called Pimp and these niggas fight. So I calmed them down. And then once Pimp locked in, he was like, wait a minute, Rockefeller. Ain't that where Jay-Z at? I was like, yeah. And I didn't get the connection. I was like, he was like, tell him to take that check over to Tupac mama and give it to him for stealing all Tupac's. I'm like, what?
I put him on that Pac life, boy. he went, once I let him hear that Tupac, he went on this mission for me.
But what Pimp didn't realize was that Jay was already on that call, listening to everything. And Jay heard it all, including the...
Wait a minute. How the manager gonna have the three-way mute going on? We used to do that when we were kids. You a manager, we grown, and you have him on the three-way mute, telling him, about a deal? How Rockefeller is giving us women. That's why you like Rockefeller's the ish. No, bro, that's so corny. That is so corny. And then I'm telling you, tell that man bring that check to Tupac, and he hearing everything. So not only do I not have to repeat it, but you doing some sneaky, snaky stuff, because why didn't you just have a conversation with me by myself? I would have told him. Ain't like he was scared to tell him that. That's crazy now.
Was that Jay was already on that call, listening to everything. And Jay heard it all, including the slick comments Pimp was throwing his way.
Jay heard him say that, yo?
Yeah, Jay heard him. He heard him.
How?
Because I had to jump up and apologize for this nigga.
Don't apologize for me.
Up quick, because I was like, I didn't realize he was in the room. So when I seen Hov there, I was like, oh. And so I told him he had to come down and go see them and go talk to mama and go to lunch with, go to dinner with them and sit down and do it the right way, because that's just how Pimp did. If you didn't sit down and eat dinner with him and his mama, he ain't gonna break bread with you. That was just the game. Like, that's how he was raised. He had studied music. It was different, man. He knew music from the Conservatory of Music of Art. He had studied from an orchestra standpoint. His mom had invested in his career.
Send the money to Tupac mama.
Who he was. So by the time people seen him, it was the counterculture of discovering hip-hop and rap down there. And they were like a country version of Run DMC, him and Bun.
Great artists.
Or the new Ghetto Boys. It was like Jay Prince had them as the new Ghetto Boys. That's what they were. And luckily, Nick moved to Atlanta. We was able to get him with Short, and Short just put the game down, and the rest was history. Right. So that caused a ruckus, because when they missed the first two Jay-Z albums because of it. And the next time around, I knew not to call Pimp, because him and Jazz was beefing it. And the Master P was beefing. I was like, he's beefing with everybody.
Now, Pimp C eventually agreed to hop on Big Pimpin', but let's keep it real. He and Jay were never tight like that. The tension was very real, and Bun B even admitted it took some serious reverse psychology to get Pimp C to consider working with Jay. And here's the wildest part. Despite the track blowing up and becoming a massive hit, Pimp C wasn't at all impressed. While the rest of the world was hyping it up, he didn't see it as anything special.
I got paid to be on Big Pimpin'. We didn't have that relationship. And to be honest, I don't think Pimp would have accepted a Jay-Z verse to be of equal value to him. So let's just break this bread and be done with it. Right. And to be honest, Pimp and Jay didn't really have a relationship in that sense. There was a lot of mutual respect, but Hov and I were always closer. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting a feature. You know what I'm saying? But no, it was really just about
Like, we worked very hard to get where we are, and we're successful now for being purely who we have always said we were, Riding Dirty. Most critically acclaimed album we ever released, gold album, not one music video. You know what I'm saying? And to get to that point and to possibly, in his mind, throw it all away, because this dude want to pay you some money to do a verse on a beat that you would never rap to. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like a lot, and it took a lot to kind of bring him back around to the idea of being a part of it, to the point where I just like reverse psychology, like, do it then. Like, don't even worry about
They
it.
think they really convinced him. Like, he just gave in. You ain't reverse psychology.
All right, Pee Wee, I'm gonna do it, man. I mean, he was glad it worked out.
Exactly, he gave in.
Big Pimpin' was not like in his top 10 UGK songs. Like,
he didn't even want to do another one.
Can you blame him?
To make things even crazier, there's another explosive theory floating around, and it's coming from Jay's former background singer and industry whistleblower, Jaguar Wright. Jaguar's been out here claiming that Jay-Z didn't just try to sabotage.
Now listen, there's a lot of chatter around Jaguar Wright. They saying she crazy, but she might be telling the truth. And that's why they saying she crazy. But she do be saying some off the wall stuff. But some of the stuff she said has come to fruition. Has come to light. She ain't lying about everything now. Okay, and I seen recently Jaguar Wright and Orlando Brown was in the same room doing an interview. So I want to see that. Let me know in the comment section down below if you want to see that come up, because that's got to be interesting, because they both know some industry stuff, but they say it in the most well, especially Orlando, say it in the craziest way. But I want to see.
Pimp's career, but might have actually played a part in his tragic death.
He lined up D-Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L.
I'm actually
stole
surprised
his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
She say things like she know it for a fact.
Why did that house burn up? Who the fuck goes to their childhood house for a visit and the shit goes up in flames?
That was very weird. The next day, within a week?
And no, the next day.
The next day.
And still, no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames.
See what
I guess they paid y'all off.
So to give you some context, in early December 2007, Pimp C was staying at the Mondrian Hotel in West Hollywood, working on new music and prepping for a performance with Too Short. Everything seemed normal until the morning of December 4, when things took a tragic turn. He was supposed to catch a flight back home, but when his wife Chinara and cousin Ed were waiting at the airport and didn't hear from him, they started getting worried. Chinara called the hotel, and when staff went to check his room, they found Pimp C unresponsive. Sadly, he was pronounced dead shortly after, at just 33 years old. The official coroner's report ruled his death as accidental, saying it was caused by his heavy lean use combined with sleep apnea. But here's where things get real sketchy. DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia revealed that he got a call from Pimp C's manager, Rick Martin, who claims he saw Pimp's body in the hotel room. And here's the wild part. Rick said the room looked like it had been shut up. Martin said he was laying down like he was praying, but there was blood around like he was shot. They thought he was shot in the head, but they didn't know what the hell happened because there was everywhere. They thought he was knelt down like he was praying, and the candles were all the way burnt down. So they knew he'd probably been dead for a day or so, because he always lit those candles to sleep. He lit those big tall candles, and they had been burnt down. So he probably was dead for a while. Something definitely wasn't adding up. And it's got people questioning what really went down that night. And honestly, it seems like more and more deaths in the music industry are looking really suspicious, especially when you look at the folks who were close to Jay-Z and Diddy. From Big L and Aaliyah to Pimp C, and even Jay's rumored mistress, Kathy White. The list just keeps growing, and the deeper you dig, the darker things get. But I gotta know what your take is on all this speculation that Jay-Z might actually be an even bigger monster than Diddy. Do you think there's something shady about how both DMX and Pimp C died after they started exposing Jay and the higher-ups in the industry? Or is this just another wild conspiracy theory? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget...
Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. How y'all feel about Jay-Z. Did you guys see the Piers Morgan interview where Jaguar Wright was making her rumors and accusations about Jay-Z and Beyonce, and Piers Morgan came back and apologized. And then there was a video from Jay-Z and Beyonce's lawyer, blah, blah, blah. This is getting out of hand. Diddy went down and everybody is coming with him. The Ja Rule reference in the beginning was crazy to me because I didn't even know Ja Rule had anything to do with Diddy. But this Jay-Z thing and Diddy thing is make you go, what is actually going on? What were y'all doing this whole time? It's like, I say this a lot. A lot of our childhood, well, my childhood, people that I listened to knew their songs word for word, knew their name, wanted to see them in concert, or either saw them in concert. A lot of crazy stuff is coming out about them. Like, Neo is one of them. His baby mother called him Baby Diddy. Not only that, this man is walking around talking about he want to have as many girlfriends as he wants. Not that I'm judging him, it's just very weird because I grew up listening to you talking about your sexy love and how this girl is for you, and when you're mad, like, I don't understand. It was never when they're mad. Sexy loves. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is so crazy. So y'all let me know in the comment section down below how y'all feel about this whole ordeal. And with that being said, DMX and Pimp, see.